What is up, guys? It's Megan, and today we are talking more about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So if you guys are interested in learning more about the characters you can meet at this special event, please stay tuned. And if you guys want to learn more about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, please check out my other video. I will link it up here, but let's just get into the video. So for those who have not been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party before, you can meet very, very special characters. And this is one of the reasons that the party itself is very popular and a lot of the villains come out, which are clearly some of my favorites. So also to preface this before I get into the list of all the characters, all these special characters come out at 7 o'clock. So even if you are in the park at 4 o'clock, which you can get into with your park ticket for the Halloween party, you do have to wait until 7 o'clock to meet most of the characters. There are some special characters that come out a little bit earlier, and I will also go into more depth about those later. So to start off on Main Street, USA, we have Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is in his green and purple vampire-y Halloween outfit. He is in the normal place that he meets, except he just is in his Halloween costume. When you come into Magic Kingdom, you're going to look to the right. He is going to be right there with Tinkerbell. So they have different lines, so make sure you go into the one with Mickey Mouse, and it shouldn't be that long of a wait, especially during like the fireworks, the parade, later in the night. These characters get much less in their wait times. Heading over to Liberty Square, we have one of the most popular meet and greets, which is Jack and Sally. So Jack Skellington and Sally, who are from The Nightmare Before Christmas, one of my favorite movies, you really have to get there pretty early or you wait a long time. Jack and Sally for the last 2 years, and now this year, have been meeting at 5 o'clock. So when you get in to the party, you can get in at 4 o'clock like I mentioned, so you almost want to go directly into line for Jack and Sally if that is a priority for you. I have done that in the past, and one night that I went, it was raining, there wasn't that bad of a line. We probably waited about an hour and 15 minutes at most. I would not wait anything over 2 hours. That is a complete waste of your party, but if that is your priority, that's the one thing you want to do, that's totally up to you. For me personally, I would not wait anything more than 2 hours, and on the first party night, it was rumored that they were 3 hours plus. So Jack and Sally meet in the gazebo where Tiana used to meet. It's sort of behind the Christmas shop and the bridge between Adventureland and Liberty Square. So it is sort of off to the side. You can definitely tell where they are because there's always like a long line. But if you see this little card up here, Jack and Sally do not sign autographs, but if you get into line, you will get one of these special cards here. So it makes for like a great memory. I have a couple of them, so I love sharing them with people and displaying them like that one. So next, we're just going to quickly talk about Frontierland, and there are some characters that I've actually never seen out and about before in the Halloween party, and that's Brer Rabbit and Brer Fox. Really unusual characters, but I have seen videos of them wandering around the area in front of the pin trading post, or like the Country Bear Jamboree, and it just looks like so much fun. I really would like to see them out and about, so be sure to catch them as well. Now, hopping over to Fantasyland, some of the characters do wander a little bit. So like Anastasia and Drizella, who are the evil stepsisters, they aren't necessarily special to this event because they do meet during regular Magic Kingdom hours. They are so hilarious, and if you are dressed up like Cinderella, anyone from the Cinderella movie, it would be totally worth meeting them. They are so funny, they are so fast with their humor, and you can never go wrong meeting them. They're just so funny. The next one we are going to talk about is the Seven Dwarves. So the Seven Dwarves is also a extremely popular meet and greet during the Halloween party. In the last couple of years, they have been meeting at 6:15. There's like this little tented area in the back of Storybook Circus. The last few years they have been meeting there, but I have seen that they moved them inside into Pete's Silly Sideshow or wherever the Great Goofini or Ginaldo and Minnie and Daisy meet in the back of Storybook Circus. So that used to be a treat station. It is now currently a meet and greet station for the Seven Dwarves, which is good because it is air conditioned for a lot of people to wait. But once again, this line could get up to 2 or 3 hours. Try and wait till the end of the party to visit them or try and meet them. Either do it in the very beginning or the very end. If you really want to meet them, try and get in line early enough, maybe 5 o'clock. That way you're only waiting an hour and 15 minutes. You should hopefully be near the front of the line. Next, we are going to also be talking about another very popular meet and greet, which is Pooh and Friends. So Winnie the Pooh, as a lot of you know, you could see him up there. Winnie the Pooh is one of my favorite characters. Have Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Eeyore, and Piglet all in their Halloween costumes. It is like the cutest thing you could have ever seen, but this definitely gets to be very long, maybe an hour and a half. They do meet like on a schedule, so they get a break, you can come back. So Winnie the Pooh is dressed as a bumblebee, Piglet is dressed as a butterfly, Eeyore is dressed as a clown, and Tigger is dressed up as a pirate. So in my eyes, this is totally worth it. These characters are just so darn cute. From what I've heard, they still come up at 7 o'clock, but that could change. I do think that they could be worth meeting if you want to make that a priority. Several other characters that meet in Fantasyland is the Queen of Hearts, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, Alice, the Mad Hatter, and sometimes you can get the White Rabbit. I have seen the White Rabbit sometimes in like videos, pictures. I think it's very rare to have him out, but they meet right next to the Mad Tea Party, where Alice typically meets with the Mad Hatter during a day at Magic Kingdom. So there's like a little garden area. If you find the Cheshire Cafe and then the Mad Tea Party, it's sort of like in between there, they will meet. You will find them. I have never personally done this meet and greet. It's always a very long line. I have never dressed up like any of the characters from Alice in Wonderland. I try and meet the characters that I dress up like. So from whatever movie I'm dressing up from, I try and stick to meeting those characters because it's so hard to meet all the characters at the same party. But that is where they are, and so if you want to meet them, they come out at 7 o'clock. They are always so fun to watch when you're walking by. They are so interactive. The Queen of Hearts is hilarious. The Princess Fairy Tale Hall is also open during the Halloween party, so you can meet Cinderella, Rapunzel, Tiana, and Princess Elena. So these are open. They are usually very little waits, like 10-15 minutes. You just pop in, pop out, do the other one, come out, and they are of course so engaging. They are wonderful characters to meet. They are available on a normal Magic Kingdom day, so if you don't feel like meeting them, you can definitely meet them on a normal day instead of this special event, but they are also an option to meet during the Halloween party. Other characters that meet typically during the Halloween party, I met them last year and it was so exciting because I was like a mix of Ursula and Ariel, and so I met Ariel and Prince Eric, and they were so engaging. They were so cool. The night that I went, it was raining, so they had a specific rain spot, but it is over by the Little Mermaid attraction, so Under the Sea with Ariel and Friends. You could probably find a line for them or ask a cast member where they will be standing. They are in that general vicinity, and they were so worth it to meet. They do sign autographs, so if you want to get Prince Eric's or Ariel's autograph, they do sign autographs, and they come out at 7 o'clock. Other special characters in Fantasyland are Gaston and Belle, and while they meet in Fantasyland or in Magic Kingdom, typically Belle is in her blue dress and Gaston meets with Belle. So they're over by Gaston's Tavern, over by his statue where Gaston typically meets. This also tends to have a pretty long line. I have never had a chance to meet them together just because how popular Beauty and the Beast is, and a lot of people like to dress up as Belle and Gaston, but the interaction between them is so hilarious. I always love meeting Gaston. They come out at 7 o'clock, so if you want to meet them, try and get there a little bit earlier, maybe 6:30 or 6:15, just so you're not wasting as much of your party time. Some other really special characters that come out are Minnie Mouse, Donald, and Daisy. So all these characters are in their Halloween outfits, and they meet over by Storybook Circus. There's usually, I think last year they did like 2 separate lines. Several years before, they had one line to do all 3 characters, but last year I remember them having 2 separate lines to do Minnie and then Daisy and Donald. You'll have to choose, I think, between, you know, which one you want to do first or you want to wait for, but you can easily do both of them at the same party. Another character that just started meeting last year is a pirate Goofy. So Goofy meets over by his ride, the Barnstormer. You will be able to find him over there. He comes out at 7 o'clock. I haven't seen too long of a line for him, but definitely if he's a priority, get there at 7 o'clock. Make sure you meet your Goof. Finally, over in Fantasyland, we have one of my favorite characters to meet. I met her last year, and I also met her at the Villains Club, Club Villain, and she is just hilarious. And I'm talking about the great Cruella De Vil, and she's just a blast to interact with. She actually didn't have very long of a line. Like I said, the character times for me last year were a little bit thrown off because it was raining, so a lot of people didn't want to like wait outside, and it took us about an hour to meet Jack and Sally, and it took us about 15 minutes to meet Cruella De Vil. But she meets over by the train station, so if you go over sort of in between the tent in the back of Storybook Circus and the Barnstormer, there is the train station. She meets over by the exit of the train station, so not the entrance right next to Barnstormer, but the one over past the bathrooms to the left. So if you are in the vicinity, try and meet her. She comes out at 7. And now we are moving over to Tomorrowland. And in Tomorrowland, they have a few characters, typically where Buzz Lightyear meets during the day. If you see Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin, if you go a little bit further past that, past the extended queue, in between the Carousel of Progress and Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin, I've been trying to say that so fast and I keep messing it up, but you go in between those and there is a little meet and greet spot for Buzz, and that is where you can find a character from Sunnyside Daycare, and that is none other than Mr. Lotso Hug and Bear. And I had a chance to meet him last year. It literally was like a 5-minute wait for me to meet Lotso. It was incredible. My parents said, I'm gonna go on Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin, because they wanted to do that instead of meet Lotso, and I was like, okay. And I wanted to meet Lotso. It was basically a walk-on for them, and I finished meeting Lotso before they got off the ride. That's how crazy it was. But generally, Lotso has a moderate line to meet him. I think if it's raining at your party, then that is to your discretion. I think all the characters will probably have a little bit shorter wait if it's raining, but I would say maybe a half-hour wait for him. He is so cool. Unfortunately, he does not smell like strawberries, but he is still so cuddly, and I love meeting Lotso. A new addition to this year, I have heard that we are getting Elvis Stitch, and Stitch is meeting in where Stitch's Great Escape is. I'm so happy they are using that, not for a treat location, but an actual meet and greet. It is where Stitch normally meets now that they have closed Stitch's Great Escape, and he typically meets there on a normal Magic Kingdom day, but in the past that area has been used for a treat location, so I'm so happy they are including a special Stitch. And we're gonna make our way into Adventureland, and we have lots of cool characters here. The first one we're gonna talk about is Jafar. They all sort of meet around the same area, so Jafar, Aladdin, Jasmine, Abu, and sometimes you can get Genie. And they all sort of meet to the right of the flying carpets from Aladdin. If you are walking towards the flying carpets of Aladdin, you will definitely see them on your right hand side. I think they typically have like a moderate wait as well. I have never had a chance to meet them, but a lot of people like to dress up and meet Jafar or Aladdin and Jasmine, and I think one day I will definitely get to meet them. Another really fun group of people that you might get to meet is Tarzan and Terk and Jane, and they also meet around that same area. So Adventureland is kind of small in that one area, and I feel like they're all sort of like pushed together. So even a little bit before that, before you even get to the attraction, that's where they are meeting. I have never met them either, but I would say also another moderate line, definitely nothing compared to Jack and Sally or the Seven Dwarves, but they do come out at 7, so if you want to meet them or if you're dressing up like them and that's a priority, go ahead and get in line a little bit before 7 o'clock and you will definitely get to meet them. Another very special character that, you know, a lot of people like to dress up as is Captain Jack Sparrow. And Captain Jack Sparrow is found right in front of Pirates, where he normally is, where he does his little show, so you can get in line for him. I don't think he has too long of a wait. I wouldn't say more than like a half hour or 45 minutes. So if you want to meet him, try and get there a little bit earlier. If you are dressing up like a pirate, or your kids are dressing up like a pirate, or you just love Captain Jack Sparrow. I love seeing like videos of people dressed like Captain Jack Sparrow meeting Captain Jack Sparrow, and it's so much fun. Finally, another really popular character that has been also moved this year is Moana. So Moana, I think, is meeting at 5:45 now, and she has been moved to the Enchanted Tiki Room, which in the past has also been used as a treat station. So instead of using these treat stations, they are using them for characters, probably because of the weather, and then they could just continuously meet instead of being stuck out in the heat. And it also protects from the rain, because we all know that this season is hurricane season as well. So pro tip, bring your weather gear with you. So guys, those are all the characters you are able to meet during the Halloween party at Magic Kingdom, and it is so much fun. If you can pick a few characters that you really want to meet, or if they're like that's all you want to do during the party, totally up to you. Try and keep in mind that you are paying a lot of money for your ticket, so please try not to waste too much money by waiting in line for like 3 hours to meet Jack and Sally. But I hope that you guys found this information helpful. If you guys like Disney or Halloween or Disney pins or anything Disney, please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Disney and I make videos like this all the time. So I hope you guys all have a super magical but spooky day, and you guys will see me at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party soon. See you real soon.